Coming to you live from St. Louis, Missouri.
It's the FasterFreedom Show.
With your hosts, Sam Prim and Lucas Wolf.
We talking about freedom?
Hello and welcome to the FasterFreedom Show. My name is Sam.
And I'm Lucas.
And Lucas, I just dropped my cell phone.
That's all right. Pick it back up, Prim.
I did it. Sometimes you fall and you fail. As long as you pick yourself up back, you're not really failing. You're just learning. Like I learned to not put it on my seat. Now it's on the table.
It's like a metaphor for your life.
For everybody's life.
Fall
Lucas.
back down and get back up.
It's not just about me. So on today's episode, we are going to be talking about why we are selling a couple of our apartment complexes. We've alluded to this kind of stuff before a little bit. Just, timing, and there's a couple apartment complexes we're trying to sell, and we'll get into it. We're not like trying to give them a wholesale away, so that's why we haven't sold them yet. But we are trying to sell assets, which is not something we usually do. So we thought we would dig into that here for a little bit in this first segment. And then we're going to be talking with some real or fake headlines, which you think are some good ones.
Yes.
And then we're going to be
They're all good today. Riddle Me This is great. Real or fake and true or false. They're all really good today.
How much do you think what do you think your true or false, or riddle, or your riddle me is going to be?
I know one.
So you think you go 2 for 3 then? As you call
it? I have 4 answers to another one. I think none of them are right, and I have no idea on the other one. So a chance for 2 for 3, more than likely 1 for 3.
You have the last one for sure.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Let's get rocking. So Lucas, we own 6 apartment complexes. We've bought a few of them. You own more than 6, or are you just doing a lot of different 6s?
A lot of different
6s.
Yeah.
Great. Love it. So we've been able to buy 6 apartment complexes without using any of our own money, and we do an extended BRRRR method. Let me explain how we do it, and then that'll maybe get into why we're selling a few of them or trying to. So we use a private lender's money for the 20% down. We use a bank note, long-term debt for the 80%. So it's 100% financed, but not hopefully of cost. We're able to get discounts and add value quickly because you don't want to finance something with zero equity. So there's equity built in a little bit, and then we build equity over time, and then we refinance and we pay our private lender back, and then boom, we own it all 100%. So that's how we've done it with 3 of them. And these last 3 are kind of holding on a little bit. So we're actually looking to sell one of the old ones. So anyways, we're looking to sell assets potentially, which we don't love to do. And I have some reasons why. I'm sure you will add to them. I ran these with Shane earlier. I'm sure you have some additional points and some additional ones to add.
For sure. And I think it'd be kind of cool to just like briefly run through each one. There's only 6, and spend like a minute on each one, but like when we bought it, why we bought it, and just like the condition and kind of how we structured the deal real quick. What do you think about that, Prim? So first one, so we had, this was back in 2015, we bought a 9-unit apartment complex in the county that we live in. So
in St. Charles County.
St. Charles County. So in our backyard, and we had, I think, how many single families at the time, Sam? Like 5?
So it was the end of 15. I think we closed like on December of 15. So
maybe not quite 5.
No, I think we did. I think that
4 or 5.
Because the first year by that.
Definitely had Villadonna Saturn.
And by 15
Springhurst. Because
we painted outside of Villadonna in like February of 15.
So
probably 5 to 7, I would say.
Yeah, 5 to 7. So we bought a 9-unit that took us above 10, which was a big deal for us to have 10 doors. But this place was a freaking nightmare. Self-managed, and pretty much every unit needed substantial work. And we knew that going in. And our plan was to do it over time. So we bought it for $255,000, bought a private lender in for, 25% of that. So around 50 grand, 60 grand, something like that. And didn't leave much room for renovations, but we were able to renovate with a little bit of cash flow. So renovated over time, and all those units are like really nice now, and nice clientele and managed well. And that building does pretty well. And now the value of it is, $500,000+. So we're in a really good spot equity-wise in that building. It's just
it is the value $500 because we can't sell it for $500.
Well, we're trying to sell it for $600.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we got a couple cash $450 offers that we didn't take, so I know it's worth more than that. Anyway, that's one of the buildings we're trying to sell. We'll get back to in a second, but mainly because it's 100 years old. Our second building is probably even a better story, and that's Geraldine, right?
Oh, Geraldine.
So Geraldine took us from like 30 doors, so like 21 single families, this 9-unit, over 60 because it's a 32 unit.
Both of these we almost kind of doubled our units with. These first two.
Yeah, good point. Oh, the first one, more than double,
I
triple.
always make good points, Lucas. Shane knows.
But this one was interesting because we didn't have the money to buy it. No private lender would give us money. No bank would lend.
We had banks say no.
Because it was $1 million, right? And that was a lot of money for one deal for us back in 2017. I think we started looking at it, and so the owner wanted to sell
badly,
but we couldn't get the financing. He liked us, so what we did was a master lease. You remember doing that?
I do. Well, the first owner wanted to sell it to us, and he collected rent with a gun in his back pocket.
Yes.
Then he sold it to this
guy,
gentleman
that's
because
right.
we couldn't close. And this gentleman's like, hey, the broker let him know that we were interested. He's like, hey, this is not ideal.
Yeah, so we signed a lease purchase master lease agreement, which pretty much allowed us to operate the building and then collect the rents, keep the rent, and then pay him like a fee, like a lease fee. And then, but the issue was the tenants were so bad, we weren't getting rent. There was so much expenses that we weren't really able to pay his fee every month. We're like, all right, let's just figure out how to buy this thing. Our bank note would be a lot less than the fee to him. So we were able to structure this by, getting some private lenders involved, going to the bank. We raised enough money to execute the renovations after we purchased, and that thing's
on?
It's
I hear us like delayed on your phone.
It's about 15 seconds delayed live.
Wow,
but
that's
that's
shaped
okay.
just like an iPhone. I wonder if they copied it. So, the other thing, remember real quick, while you're turning that off, remember on the walls, all the knife holes, and somebody
Yeah.
will beat the pot?
Beat the pot. You got to beat the pot, man.
I don't think it's
Can't beat them.
join them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's addictive substance. Well, maybe it is, but.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of other things
I
you're
mean,
probably
I don't
worried
know.
about beating than the pot.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
what
so
she said.
get us caught back up there.
So we bought it. We executed the renovations, and now the good news is that cash flows is worth a lot more than what we bought it for.
And it's actually actually is our best cash flowing
Yep.
asset. but-
Multifamily,
Yes,
which we'll get
multifamily,
into a
yes.
little bit more here
yes.
too.
So there's that one.
and
Those
we-
are the
and-
two we're looking to sell, actually.
And the two we're looking to sell, and we were able to execute a refinance, pay back our private lenders. Everything worked beautifully on these, and we own them and they operate great. And those are the ones we're looking to sell. Next one, what was number 3? 12 unit in Troy.
Number 3 was Old Cherry Street.
Yeah, bought that well.
That one was the best one.
Probably was.
We got it for like $680. I remember negotiating with the agent. I remember upstairs in the guest bedroom, like walking circles around the bed and like negotiating with the agent. And I think it was listed at $750 originally. Then they had it $725, and then we got them down to $680. You're like, anywhere under $700, we're good. I
Yeah.
got it for like $682.
Yeah, you're very proud of that. Great
Yes, I
job.
was.
Yeah, good. That was kind of our structure. Like, yeah, we both would find them. We both had lines to the money, but then I just, unleashed Sam on them to negotiate.
It's not a good thing always.
Yeah. So that one was good. I bought it for $680. Private lenders for the purchase and the rehab, and then a bank for the financing. We did that. We fixed up a lot of units, and then it appraised for 1.2, and then we paid off our private lenders.
That was a sweet one.
Yeah,
That was in that we timed the marker perfectly on that one.
Yep, it's a beautiful one. All right, then we started to get a little ahead of our skis.
We are unstoppable. Let's just get into these big dogs now.
Yeah, so what's different about the first 3 than the last 3 is the first 3 required some renovations. So we were
add
able
value.
to force value, and these second 3 didn't as much. They were a little more turnkey.
Yep.
And then we were kind of, basing our future projections on us operating them much better than the current owners and being able to raise rents, lower expenses, therefore increase the value of these, right?
Yes.
So we bought 3 buildings, all in a span of about,
12, 15 months.
I think less, but yeah, all in a span probably about 6 months.
And that's about what? Like, it was like 10 million almost?
About 10 million worth of buildings. They were nice buildings, A-class buildings.
In like 10 months.
Yeah, one 27 unit, one 19 unit with some commercial leases in place, and then one 29 unit. And all of these were in pretty damn good shape. We did the same thing. We raised money for the purchase price, the down payment, bank money for the other 80%. And then, we haven't been able to refinance out of these because there wasn't that initial push of a value add, and rates went up, and we kind of got compressed on our cap rate.
Yeah, so yeah, and they're still worth more than we owe on them, but there's just not enough equity to pull out to sell to give our private lenders their money back. And we told them it was going to be a 3 to 5 year play, looking like closer to that 5 years, but we'll get out of them. But the point of the other ones where we added value quickly and timed the market, this one we bought stuff that wasn't a ton of value add, and like you mentioned, don't want to get too technical here, but interest rates rose, cap rates rose along with them, and therefore the value of the building went down. And we did nothing wrong. We weren't perfect with them, but we didn't like do anything to cause, a 2 or 3% increase a year rather than the 10 or 15 we were going for. So that's where we're stuck a little bit on those for the short period of time. All that to say, we're selling a couple. The first two are trying to, and we're going to give some reasons why, and then why we're having trouble selling, which we kind of alluded to.
Yeah, that sounds good. It'll be fun.
Perfect. All right. So the first thing is, the first reason we want to sell these two assets is to free up some cash. Just get some extra cash. When you grew as quickly as Lucas and I did, and grew multiple businesses, you don't have your reserves kind of get sucked up from hiring this or doing that or buying that or floating that, and we didn't do a good job managing that, and we are trying to just give us a little bit more of a buffer before we scale again. So one of the reasons is they have the most equity in them, so we're like, hey, let's sell them and get $700,000-800,000 in cash that we can now just use to stockpile and hold.
Yeah, in general, we have a lot of equity.
Yes.
Which we were able to create with forced value, and then also just kind of rode the market over the past 10 years. You buy real estate, you hold on to it, good things happen, right? Debt pay down, appreciation, grows your equity. So we're running these scenarios. We're like, what is the best use of this equity, right? To keep it in there, or to access it somehow, to have cash reserves, or to pay off some other debt. So there's a couple ways to access that equity, and that's the easiest ways are a refinance and a sale.
Yes.
So refinances now aren't quite as appetizing if you have really good debt already in place.
We had good, not amazing debt, but we had
Solid.
pretty good debt. Like we would pull a little bit of money out, but then our monthly payment would be higher because we are going with higher interest rates.
Yep, absolutely. So we're running all these different types of scenarios like, hey, if we sell this, use that equity to pay off this debt, can we get, a better cash flow every month from a portfolio standpoint? Or do we sell it and just hold on to equity and kind of have a nice buffer as we go into some uncertain times, the ability to use that cash?
I like it. So free up capital is reason number one. Number two is kind of to upgrade some of the asset classes that we own. They're not bad. They're actually like, I would call our 32 unit, our second property, Geraldine, I would call it like a C area.
Yeah.
And then where we bought our 9 unit is in like a C plus, but probably going to be a B plus or an A minus area in the next few years with some development going on. So it's not necessarily the areas, but just the buildings are older.
Yeah.
There's more maintenance required of them, and I think if we're going to own, and you tell me, I think if we're going to own apartment complexes, it's going to be more of that B plus A class. I know you're a big single family guy. I am too, but I would love to own a 75 unit in like a really good area that like cash flows that we buy right.
Sure.
So, but I think that's the better play for our capabilities rather than some of these like, studios that rent for like $600 a month, like just the tenant and all that stuff is just a little bit more of a pain rather than some of the nicer stuff.
For sure, yeah. We definitely made a switch in our mindset over the past 2-3 years to focus on the value of the portfolio versus the number of doors, and that's one of the main reasons we bought those last 3 apartment buildings, because the value per door was much higher. The cash flow per door was lower though. So the 32 unit in particular, it's our largest number of doors, but per door amount, it's probably our least valuable asset.
100%, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
it cash flows, which is great. We get about maybe $3,000 a month net cash flow off that building, which is solid. That's $100 a door, give or take, and that's kind of what we shoot for our multifamilies. But along with us making that shift, I think we did sacrifice some cash flow along the way, and we can see it with those nicer A-plus buildings. And I think that's kind of what the market calls for with those. The higher the asset class, probably the lower return you're going to get.
hence that's why the cap rate's lower.
For sure.
So but you gotta, and won't get into it now, but yeah, that's why it's important to have those things operate.
Yeah.
And get that occupancy to get that cash flow. Because we can be, I'm just making shit up here, but we could be 88% occupied at Geraldine and still cash flow, but being 90% occupied at a nicer one, even though we won't, just because it's a tighter squeeze.
It's definitely tighter. And I think we've seen that with all of our
Toy like a
multifamilies,
Taigo,
which I would say
toy
is
like a Toyga. What's
yes,
that from?
Austin Powers.
I think so, yes.
Right? Yeah. I don't know which one.
And tigers, are they tight? I mean, they're cool.
They're tight. Yeah,
there you go.
Type of tight. Yeah.
All right.
That is, what was that one? I think that was a when Cresco was on. It was the word set. How many different meanings it has?
Oh gosh.
Do you know that? You probably don't. That's okay.
I probably do.
It was. I think it was an over under, but it has 430 something meanings. The word set. Isn't that crazy?
I don't know if I believe.
And I was like, I can't even think of 10 words that have like 2, but tight is one of them.
Has like 3. But
Yeah.
We won't go through all 3 of them. All right.
Yeah.
Number 3 reason we're selling to free up time for, and this was kind of just like I want to expand on this one. The other 2 are like super concrete. So put your flavor on this one, Walls. But to free up time to manage for others and manage assets we want to own for a long time. I think we're pretty sure that some of our single families, not many of them, but these apartment complexes, I don't know if I want to own in 30 years. But the other ones, assuming we get them turned around, I'd be glad to own Lindell for 30 years.
Yeah. I think. We've realized that it's not just the investment that you gotta look out for. Mm-hmm. It's how you operate it and your capacity to operate these things efficiently. You could buy the best deal in the world, but if you can't operate and manage it, it's not going to be a good investment for you. So we're doubling down on what we're great at managing. What we're great at managing is single families. What we're decent at is multifamilies.
And we're learning.
Better, yep. Yeah, and we think we can get better, but kind of what Sam's saying is we'd rather fill our capacity up, our management capacity, with assets that we're great at managing versus ones that we're okay at or even bad at, like we've done with storage.
Yep, I agree. So, and we are looking to manage for other people here in St. Louis. For sure. Oh, yeah, and I should mention for anybody watching live, this is the only time it works, is that we're live, right? Okay. So if you're watching, there's probably not a ton of you. So tomorrow's the 4th, right? Or tomorrow's the 3rd.
Yep.
So tomorrow, October 3rd at 10 a.m., I'm going to be drawing a name that we're going to give away a mentorship. So if you want to enter that, you have to go to Instagram, same FasterFreedom on Instagram, and DM me the letter Q and the number 4. So anyways, Q4. We're giving it away to help somebody get Q4 started off right in the right foot. So it's $10,000 mentorship we're giving away for free. That's kind of nice.
That is great, man.
What are you making a note of?
Something to tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I saw the name, so I can only imagine.
We where was I going with this? And we're evaluating our portfolio, and this might not be true for everybody, but for us in our market and the way we manage, our single families are way outperforming our multifamilies. Mm-hmm. So if we get a tranche of 30 single families, let's say 32.
A tranche?
Yeah, portfolio.
I think use that properly, but a tranche. How many times you said tranche in your life?
Not too many. Did I say it right?
Yeah, I think you use it right, and then you use the same like as you do with monster.
Tranche.
He goes tranche. He also says monster, not monster.
Monster.
Yeah, see?
Is that good?
That's fine. All right, keep going. If we get a tranche of single families.
Yeah, they'll outperform our multifamilies tenfold.
Yeah,
even if they're kind of spread across the metro area.
The greater St. Louis area, greater STL.
Yes.
Reno STL. Or STL Reno.
Yep. New construction company coming soon.
To a family near you. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's talk about why we're having trouble selling them. So these are my reasons, and I didn't run any of this by Lucas. Obviously, he probably agrees with these. Maybe he has more, but I think the reason we're having trouble selling them is we're not like super desperate.
Yeah.
We'd like to. It would make things a little bit easier if we were able to sell. We're getting some money from some other places and turning other businesses into being more profitable, but to get to that security, like that cushion that we want. But we're not like crazy desperate where these lowball offers we're willing to take. We could take the lowball offers we've gotten and still make money. It's not like we'd lose money. We'd still bring home a couple $100,000, but we're like, we don't have to, so we're not going to give assets away at this point.
Exactly. Yeah, we kind of listed them for a price that we'd be willing to sell them at, just to kind of test the waters. And we've got action and we've got offers, but none close enough for us to take.
And then number 2 is the value has gone down. We can't control that. 2 years ago and a year from now, our asking price will probably get smoked, or probably get like that's what we'll sell it for. But interest rates went up, cost of money went up. That means cash flow goes down. That means the value of the building goes down. So the buildings have not gone up in value or lost value in the past year and a half because of interest rates.
Yeah.
But good thing we had equity in there already, but still.
And I get it. Like you run like if you're buying buildings the way that we buy them, we wouldn't even be close to the asking price. So,
yeah, we
unless you got someone putting, a large down payment, I'm talking 30,
35%.
35, 40%, it's going to be hard to make the buildings cash flow.
Someone's going to have to get 35%, put it down, and that will also allow them to get lower interest rates. So that's really the only way to do it. Be okay with getting rid of cash, and then, yeah. Cool. I like it. So you're lower interest rate on a lower principal. So that's how it would work for them. Okay. And then the three is because of two, buyers have kind of dried up. We had Justin Brennan on the last podcast. So go check that one out. It's the last one. Is a really interesting one about multifamilies. And he called it, we're in a multifamily 08 is what he called it. So just with prices going up, cash flow not being there, ARMs do. It's just buyers. There's not a ton of buyers in the market right now.
Yeah, like the true professional buyers are wrapping up current projects. They're a little afraid of some rates readjusting and the valuations they're going to get on projects that they're working on right now, whether they're going to refi or whether they're going to sell. So they need to focus all their attention on current projects. They're not looking to add a whole bunch more. Those are the professional buyers, and then I would say we've got a lot of like newer buyer interest in these because they're at a price point that, you don't have to have a whole bunch of institutional money to come in. We're listing one for $600,000, and we're listing one for like 1.6 or 1.7. I forget what it is, but those are price points that could be fairly entry level if you know what you're doing, and the people that are fairly entry level are looking for creative finance options I've seen. So we've gotten a lot of sub-2 offers, a lot of owner finance offers, and we're just not willing to take that right now because it goes against why we're selling them in the first place, and that's to capture that equity.
I love it. So that's what we're doing. We'll keep you up to date as we roll through those, but it's one of those things where we're just kind of testing the waters on them. We haven't managed businesses perfectly by any means, but it is the good thing about buying and holding real estate is it gives us options to just get something here or refinance. So it's not been a bad thing.
Yeah, and another reason why.
Yeah, give another one in their walls.
This has to do with probably trouble selling, and then also why they're not cash flowing. But our multifamily occupancy is substantially lower than our single family occupancy right now. So I just think there's less people interested in living in apartment right now than a single family house. I don't know if that's true across the country, but that is what we're seeing on a pretty decent sample size here in St. Louis.
And we've gotten it up to tied, but then we just dropped a little bit. So
yeah.
Very cool. All right, so that's that. We thought it was interesting to let you guys know we don't always talk about the good. We like to get into actual struggles and issues that we're dealing with and give how we are solving those solutions. So if you appreciate that, make sure to follow the show. If you're watching or listening, subscribe, notification bell, or all those things. And ratings and reviews really do help. So we would appreciate that very, very much.
We would.
Muy caliente.
Yeah, allow us to continue doing these. I think we're on episode, 216?
What does muy caliente mean?
Very hot.
Yep.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you. I took up to Spanish 3.
You have Senior Swacker?
Yeah.
He was that dude.
Yeah.
I remember just I would get A's or B's on every of his tests, and then the finals, and I would get a D, and it would make me get a C, so I'd pass. It was interesting.
What was your Spanish name?
Oscar.
Oscar.
What was yours?
Mine was
Lucas.
Jorge.
Why weren't you Lucas?
I changed it my second year. I was like, Lucas is how they say it. Not
well,
Lucas.
I was Lucas?
Yeah.
Lucas?
Yeah, that's not Spanish.
You say monster.
Okay. Well, you don't say Lucas right in Spanish.
So we're even. Yeah. All right. I didn't know you were
Spanish. So I changed it from Jorge to Lucas because I didn't. It's a Spanish name. I know. A Mexican person named Lucas.
Yeah, and he goes,
yeah.
After you.
Yeah. Hispanic, that's the word I was thinking of, but he is from Mexico.
Yeah, so if he's from Mexico, he's Mexican. Do you think that, where's that going with that?
He's in our mentorship too, actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think your name would be a lot cooler if it was spelled Lukas.
Yeah, I almost changed it.
I think that'd be like Luke and Lucas.
I think the spelling of Luke would be cool, Luc. That It's like a little European flair.
That is definitely European.
Yeah.
European.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic. All right, cool. All right, so thank you for the ratings and reviews. We really appreciate it. All right, so real or fake? That my voice went out there. Real or fake? I talk a lot in my life, so my voice. All right, real or fake, Lucas? You ready for this first headline? This is when Shane makes up or gives us a real headline. We have to decide if it's real or fake. A Guadalupe fur seal was found in Iceland, and police shot it.
That is so outlandish. I'm gonna say real.
I mean, why would you shoot it?
Right. That's what I think. It's like, why would you shoot it?
All right, I'm going to say real. I hope it's.
It is not real, but it was a polar bear. So a polar bear was found in Iceland, and when he took land, they shot him.
But I mean, it wasn't a Guadalupan polar bear, right? Obviously.
No.
Why did they shoot the polar bear? I think
not
polar
sure.
bears are
They're
crazy
a
aggressive.
little more dangerous than a fur seal.
A lot.
Would you agree?
I think they kill those.
Oh,
Seals.
they like to eat those a lot.
They
Yeah,
fucking
that's their
lunch
favorite.
dinner. Yeah, I think polar bears are real aggressive. We just
Yeah,
aren't around
that
them.
makes sense. So we probably should have went with our gut on that one.
All right, you got the second one, Lucas.
All right, a cat named Drifter is safe, spending nearly 8 weeks trapped in a sewer. Cat named Drifter. Knowing Shane is like, oh no, the cat name was Speckle. No.
Yeah, or the cat name was Rifter. Take out the D, you idiots.
Yeah,
No.
there he is too. I would say this one's real. I think they can live 8 weeks in a sewer for sure.
Like, there's rats and shit they can eat.
Oh,
down
yeah.
there. Yeah, I'm gonna say true, real as well.
I'm
swear
sorry.
to
It is.
God.
It is real.
Okay.
It is real.
I was like,
He just changed it. It was fake.
I hit the wrong button. I hit back instead of forward.
No, you're just saying that.
No, it's true.
Okay. I'm gonna look it up after.
real
Okay.
headline. Number 3.
A 13-foot python seized from New York home sent to a zoo. So that's like stuff happens all the time, usually in Florida.
Yeah.
But I guess it happens when they have people like get them as pets and they get too big.
13 foot is big.
So what do you think? It's like 10
there's
feet or
not
something?
many places in New York that could.
We might need to make rules where it has to be completely made up or completely true, because it could be a 10-footer or it could be Florida.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say real.
I'm going to say fake on this one.
It is real.
You suck.
You suck.
That's aggressive. All right, cool. I like it. All right, now this is the fun. This is what you all been waiting for. Everybody focus. All right, riddle me this. Lucas, 4 cars came to a 4-way stop, each coming from a different direction. They can't decide who got there first, so they all go forward at the same time, which happens. All 4 cars go, but none crash into each other. How is this possible?
Well, number 1, I think I drew a little diagram, and I think it is possible in general. If you got 2 lanes, someone's in the right lane, and you all go forward at the same speed at the same time, I don't think anyone will hit. Number 1, that's not correct.
Okay.
But okay.
It's simpler than that.
Simpler than that. What if they backed into the 4-way stop and then went forward the opposite direction?
That could have been.
Is that not it? That's not it.
no.
Gosh. What if
Super simple.
are they at like different heights? No. Gosh darn it. Then I don't know.
They made right-hand turns. You were on the right path trying to draw the.
that
you
is
were, I
right.
thought you were going to get it
Yeah,
doing that.
That is right. Yeah.
I thought you were going to get it yeah.
Gosh darn it. They just got to go right.
Yeah.
If they went
That
straight,
was a
they'd be
good one.
fine
That was a
too.
little lengthy, but that was a good one. It wasn't
Yeah.
too weird. Okay. All right. Number 2. When it's the top of a mountain, or when is the top of a mountain similar to a savings account?
You know, I was trying to get some hints from Shane, and I was like, hey, does this mountain have snow on it? He's like, it could, but that has nothing to do.
Correct. It could. Most mountains do have snow on them, or they're hills.
I don't know. Peak, summit. I don't know this one.
This one is
Peaks.
when it piques one's interest.
Gotcha. Peak. I said peak.
Peek on through.
They both got peaks.
All right, last one you're going to get, which I like. But there's goodness gracious, these got to cut these shorts up. I can't even read. What can go through glass without breaking it?
I think a few things can. 2 things can. Sound can. And now that's not the answer because sound gets a certain frequency, it can break glass. But light is the answer.
Got it. Mine are tough.
They are tough.
Yes.
Yeah, they're super tough.
I have a little bit of pride in some history, but these are we're going different generations here, Shaner.
All right. Here we go, Sam. These
True,
are
false.
very tough. True, false. Alexander the Great conquered most of the Middle East to create Byzantine? How do you say that again?
Byzantine. Yep.
Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire.
I mean, did, but there's also been multiple people that have conquered the Middle East over the years, so it could have been somebody else. And I also don't know what the Byzantine Empire is. I've never heard of that. Now that it's not a thing, I would think I would hear that with Alexander the Great because I know a little bit about him, although I didn't see that movie that came out. But I'm going to go false on that one.
I think that's a safe answer, and I think it is correct. False. It was so he did conquer it, but it wasn't the Byzantine Empire. It was the Macedonian Empire. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
That is correct.
All right, another hard one. They're all hard. Ferdinand Magellan was the first explorer to circumnavigate the globe.
I don't remember. So I don't remember if it's him. Somebody is known for going around the southern point of Africa for the first time, and I think that's him. I don't remember who that was. Somebody. There's like 2 or 3 explorers, like Ponce de Leon. There's a few of them. I don't know that he went around the whole globe. I don't think he did. So I'm gonna say false.
It's true, but there is some falseness to this. So
Perfect. Let's give me a true false that has some of both. Perfect,
well,
Shane.
listen
Fuck
to this.
you. Sorry.
You let me know. So he led the expedition to circumnavigate the globe, but he died along the journey.
Well, if they carried his body with them the whole way.
Probably did.
No, I think they dumped him in the ocean.
I don't know. Do you think they brought him
let
back
him-
to bury him if he was that important? Or
I think they
anything?
all want to be like it's like a thing. I think if you're like an explorer or whatever,
Yeah.
they want you to. At least
So
Pirates
was
of the
him the
in Pirates of the
circumnavigator or his
Caribbean. In Pirates of the Caribbean,
That's
they put
so
him out.
accurate
Yes.
as well. Yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
So true, wrong on that one.
I've been
Sorry.
told I look like Orlando Bloom.
All right. Louis the 14th. You know him, right?
I'm better friends with him than Louis the 15th.
Yep, me too. Was also known as the Sun King.
Like, where do I go with that one? At least I've
50-50
heard of
shot.
Alexander the Great and Magellan. I feel like I should at least have heard these people. Unless Louis the 14th did something crazy, why are we worried about him? I'm going to say false.
That is true. He was the Sun King.
There you go.
Those are tough.
Yes, those were tough.
Those are really hard. All right, 1 of 3 for each of us. Not great. Not great. That's all right. Shane taking it up a notch.
I like it. All right, Lucas, motivational quote. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Arthur Ashe.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. is he?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Can you look it up?
But who knows with my...
Lucas said R.I.P. Jackie Chan, and I think he's like 70 and doing great.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Very healthy. He's probably got another 40 in him.
Yeah, I would say so. Start where you are. So I like it.
Arthur Ashe, first tennis player.
Yes.
And then retired, became an activist, very well known. So has some good quote here. What do you think about this?
I
quote,
like it.
Sam?
It's just saying basically it's not the perfect timing. You're never gonna have the perfect scenario, all the money, the timing, the market, buying the dip. Like just start where you are.
Yeah.
Your path's different than everybody else's, but if you start, you'll get there. If you don't start, you're never gonna get there. So you may have it harder than others. It may be easier for you. It may take you longer, shorter. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna do it unless you actually start.
Yeah,
so.
it's man, we talk about this all the time. Just take action, and if you have like this giant vision or this giant goal, and that's all you're focused on, it's going to be hard to take that first step because it's always going to seem so hard. So you got to break it down at a bite-sized step. What is the very first step I need to take to reach this goal? And that's what you got to focus on.
I like it.
Step number 1.
Quicker one I got stuff to do, but 33 minutes ain't too bad.
Yeah.
I think between 30 and 40 is the sweet spot.
Sweet
All right,
spot,
ready
baby.
to shoot and try to get. You gotta. If you get ahead a certain amount, you're gonna have to go behind the head.
Or
something.
left-handed from the corner.
And it only counts as one. Yeah. And you lose 2 if you miss it.
All right, we'll see where
We
go
were
from
just
here.
2 apart.
We were 2 episodes ago.
All right, Sam and Lucas are shooting. Just want to let everybody know we are live on YouTube on Wednesdays at 1:30, and they can see your chat. So if you're asking questions, they can give you answers. All right, Lucas shoots, and it's long, so he missed it. But Sam is in the corner. You can kind of see his legs there. All right, he's in the corner. He shoots, and it's short, so he goes back.
I'm increasing my lead. You were going the wrong direction.
Shit.
You were up to 22, I think, or something like
20,
that.
Yeah.
Or 21 maybe. But anyway. All right, guys. That was fun. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening to today's episode. We hope you got some major value from our conversation. If you love what you learn, make sure you like, rate, review the show, and help us spread the word by telling a friend.
If you'd like to learn more about working with me inside one of my programs, we'll have those links in the show notes, along with all our social media handles, so you connect with us there for free. If there's a real estate question you'd like us to answer, feel free to send us a message and we'll cover it in an upcoming show.